I recently posted a post on Instagram where I was showing a picture of before and after of my MRI scan, and showed a sort of positive result on the L5-S1 and a shrinking of a disc bulge. And I made some comments on the Insta post just to say that I'd try and share what I did and try and help anybody that I can. So that's what I'm doing here. I've made a few videos that I'll stick on after this, the kind of exercise video. I'm not making any claims to be a doctor or any sort of genius or miracle worker. I'm just a guy who seems to have managed to reverse a disc bulge. I guess this happens quite a lot, I don't know, but like many of you, I was searching online and I couldn't find too many good stories, so hopefully this is one that can give you some hope or encouragement if you elect not to go with microdiscectomy. Now, I would never offer that sort of advice to anyone, whether they should have surgery or not. Definitely not giving advice there. In my case, I'd had a disc bulge around about 9 months of chronic pain before I went to see the surgeon or the back specialist who did the MRI scans, and he indicated to me that probably not going to get much of a result from the spinal injection, and he would consider surgery, and so he offered me surgery. His comment was something along the lines of that bulge isn't going back in, and hopefully I'll put a picture in here, show you what the bulge would look like. However, around that time he also told me that there would be a long extended period where I would be laid up, my children would be, I wouldn't be able to pick them up. I've got 2 young boys, and I was told I wouldn't be able to lift over 10 kilos for a number of months, certainly wouldn't be running, and there'd be a slow build up to returning to sort of vigorous exercise. So it seemed like quite a huge thing to deal with, and I wanted to exhaust all avenues to see if I could help it myself. So off I went, and I tried a number of things over the course of the year, and I'll make a list here somewhere, post something in the notes about all the different things I did, but I think really I'd like to focus on the things that I thought made the most difference to my recovery. And really I think the 2 key ones were a daily, or let's say 4 to 5 times a week, mobility and strength exercise routine, and that's incorporating McKenzie exercises, foundation training, yoga, Pilates type of moves, and posture retraining where possible. So hopefully you can see I'm sort of sitting up nice and straight here. I'm on a kneeling chair here. Also I've got a standing desk. I made some sort of wholesale corrections to the way I sit and stand and move, and I think those are the key things. Having said that, if you look at the disc bulge, I'm still not sure what happened really. Did the bulge go back into the disc, or did the disc sequester? Did the stuff come out of the disc and get reabsorbed? I don't know. I may have even popped the disc, and the body's dealt with it. So I'm not here to tell you that I pushed the disc back in. I don't know what happened. I've checked that with a couple of medical people, and they say it sounds unlikely that you would have sort of popped the disc yourself, as that can lead to things like the cauda equina syndrome, and I certainly didn't see too many of those symptoms. At its worst, my pain wasn't as bad as a lot of people's. Obviously it was very frustrating for me as a keen sportsman, and I was on the ibuprofen, and it did cause me problems in my daily life, lots of sort of frustration, and it affected mood and ability to exercise, and it was hugely frustrating and somewhat painful. I would rate it at the worst probably only 5 out of 10 on the sort of pain scale on a daily basis. Right now, I don't really have any pain today, but typically I would say probably 1 to 1.5 out of 10 level of pain, maybe still there. If you look at the MRI image, that might make sense, because there's still a tear, an annular tear, although recently I also had post having the MRIs, I had a steroid injection. So level 1 to 1.5 out of 10 for pain, and typically can drop to nothing at all. So it's I'm in a pretty good spot at the moment. I've started to return to training, running specifically, which is my favourite thing. So those are the two key things. So probably nothing there to surprise anybody. There are some other things I've been doing. I've followed a plant-based diet largely, 95% that. Low alcohol. Obviously the sitting. I've been swimming. I also did some IDD therapy towards the start. I'm not convinced, but I should mention it here. I'm not convinced that was part of the recovery, but I should mention it here. And yeah, I think that's about it. So without further ado, I'll point you towards the video, and if there's any questions or anybody wants any further tips, please do get in touch. Thanks very much.